So, you asking me if I'm prejudiced, like do I have something against people, like a certain kind of people or a certain nationality? Um, so I'm gonna start by saying that my answer is not gonna bring any resolve. There will be no like finality because the question is an open-ended question. So I'm gonna start off by saying, my grandfather is white, Italian, and so my dad is like half white. I don't think he's like a mafioso Italian. You know what I'm saying? I think he just was a regular Italian dude. I don't think he has no ties to the mafia or nothing like that. So it's a white guy. And early on, I had interactions with my white half of the family. I used to go to my uncle's house. He used to take us canoeing and stuff like that. His wife name is Sue, so the first crush I had was on Sue. So this is a white lady, blonde hair. I'm saying, to me she was, a good-looking woman. So from the beginning, no, I'm not. I would say that no. I'm not prejudiced. I can leave it at that, right? So, my mother is black, and her family is black, and my dad's half black, so we're dealing with those issues, and some of my roots can be traced back to slaves and stuff. So, I'm rooted and invested in my white half of my family. I mean, they did leave a void. I mean, I didn't get raised with them or nothing like that. I didn't meet their kids, and I didn't grow up with their kids. We didn't go to the parks and no shit like that, or play no sports together or nothing. So, I was raised in a predominantly black environment where I had to deal with issues of being black. And the first school I went to was predominantly white, a white preschool in Hamilton. I was like one of the only 3 black people that went there, being raised by, not being raised, but being taken care of on a daily basis by white people who worked in a predominantly white preschool. Then I went to, a predominantly white Catholic school from kindergarten to the 2nd grade. And, kids were predominantly white. And I was like the only black kid in class. So, it's safe to say that I didn't learn much. Even in a private school where it was Catholic and you're supposed to get, more focus on your education, the teachers didn't pay me much attention. I didn't get disrespected by the white kids, and I didn't get teased or anything about being black and stuff like that. But there was like a social distance, I would say. I would say more or less, things that you would be included in conversations and things like that. I wasn't included in social events I was left out of because I'm a black kid, and people that did invite me to their birthday parties and stuff, I guess they did it out of some sense of responsibility. Everybody in class talking about the party, and the only person that didn't go was the black kid. You feel me? But I took that on the chin. Now I'm saying, I would say that even unconsciously, I rebelled against being the black kid that was supposed to, adhere to the norms of trying to adapt to being in a predominantly white environment. People call it being a class clown, but at times I just lashed out, in class. I wouldn't participate in doing the normal school work. You know what I'm saying? I would like laying off into drawing and doodling in class, and then like my mom, she always made sure I was prepared for school, like I had all my stuff, but for some reason I only kept the black crayon. So when I had to color a leprechaun, I colored them all black because that's the only crayon I had left. And the teacher didn't like me too much. She didn't like, I guess because I didn't listen. Maybe it was just me, but I was put in the back of the class. You know what I'm saying, and at that age, my vision was like a little off, and I needed glasses, and I didn't know I needed glasses till I was like junior high school. So I really can't see what's going on. So when you have that problem, it's hard to focus. So I can't pay attention because I really can't see what you're talking about, and straining my eyes all day causes the eyes to hurt. So the teacher didn't take much interest in trying to teach me because she saw that I wasn't paying attention. So I pushed other kids and like did silly things to make other kids stop paying attention. So I was like the class clown. But this is me acting out, saying that I refuse to be submissive just because I'm in a predominantly white class. So my experience with being in this environment caused me to always stand up and put my chest out. Like I'm black, but I'm here. You feel me? You understand? So and me not even paying attention to the fact that I have white relatives means that I'm not all black. But at that age, like it was like a mental block. I'm black. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm black. So for years I just put the fact that my dad was half white out of my mind and grew up as just a black kid. So I dealt with a lot of oppressive behavior from the white community, I'm gonna call it. Even though it was more like a systematic community, it was still predominantly, the system was predominantly white. So I got kicked out of that school, 2nd grade, for my behavior, for lashing out and being standoffish toward their teachings. I got kicked out of there. I went to another school that was more integrated. It was a little bit more black people, and that also didn't sit well with me. And it wasn't because it was just only a little bit of black people, but I just didn't get along with their teachings and their method of teaching you. And I was always, I don't know, I guess I thought differently, and I was also like repressed and like I had other things on my mind that shouldn't have been on my mind at that age. And so I was just like, when you approach me, it's just like this hostility. You know what I'm saying? And it's not based off of your race, it's just based off of my actions and the things that's going on and occurring. So got kicked out of that. Well, I don't think I got kicked. Actually, my little brothers got kicked out of that school. And the funny thing is that me and my older brother, we went to this predominantly white school where we had to fit in and we had to adjust to, social norms. But my little brothers, they went to an African people school and preschool. So they were raised with the same mentality. My little brothers were raised, when they go to an African people school, they raise you as you're a proud to be who you are and have a proud heritage, and you're like a king basically, as because black people in America feel like Africa is the connection to their royalty. Beats the shit out of me because the motherfuckers oppressed in a motherfucker, but whatever. So they feel as though when you're being taught in the African heritage that you're supposed to be proud of yourself because they're teaching you about your lineage and the things that made them the dominant group of people on the planet. So we actually, that would actually conflict with the environment that I grew up in. But that's here nor there. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's probably not going to resolve too many issues. So when I went to the next school, which was I was in the 4th grade, I was introduced to prejudice in a form of an unrestricted, unsaid knowing of what your place is. And this school was even more integrated. Now I'm in a school where it's, I could say that the ratio is almost even. And, but the teachers were predominantly white. As a matter of fact, I don't even remember a black teacher being there. So we're still being taught, like, to be social, to the social norms from a person of that's not of our ethnicity. From my knowledge, then, and the way I think, because I'm black, and I know I'm not saying that sarcastically. Excuse me. Don't. I know this is why it's not going to create any resolve. So, the first day of school, my mom took us to school. When she took us to school, we were supposed to be on the bus, but we missed the bus because we were coming from my mother's house. So my mother didn't live in the district. My mother lived out of the district. But as long as we stayed at my father's house and lived there majority of the time, then it was acceptable that we could go to that school because we lived in a jurisdiction. So when we arrived there, from my understanding, the police came on the bus that morning to escort us off. We're children. What is the point of having police call? White police officers came on a bus and asked for our names and told us to get up because we were going to go with them and we weren't going to be allowed in the school. Like, this is some 1970 racist shit, but they got an excuse because we ain't supposed to be going to that school because we don't live in that jurisdiction, but we do. My dad owns a house. He bought one for my grandmother. He lives around the corner from that house, so we're supposed to be there. But, under the guise of allowable oppression, they chose to have the police officers come on the bus and call our names out in front of everybody so they could escort us off the bus and take us to the police station until our parents come pick us up. So being that we weren't there, we arrived at school, and I don't think my little brothers was going there at the time. Matter of fact, they were. We were all escorted to the main office, and we had to sit there all day because my mother's a school teacher. And she had to teach school. My dad's a truck driver, so he's not even around right now. So we sitting in school waiting for somebody to come pick us up. Now this is some prejudice shit to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So then after that we settled it, and they talked to the courts or they talked to the administrators of the school district, and we were still allowed to go to that school. So we went back to the school, and my 4th grade teacher was the most arrogantest white man I ever met in my life. He just was rude. He was inconsiderate, forthcoming about how he felt toward me. I don't know about the other black kids in the class, but toward me, he had like a personal chip on his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? So I'm feeling the vibes. I'm feeling it. So like a few months go by or whatever, and I'm saying, and I'm unruly a little bit, and I'm still unruly now. You know what I'm saying? So like I washed every day, I brushed my teeth and stuff like that, and my body, like, not my body odor, but my underarms, like at that time when I was younger, they really like sweated really hard and they gave off this musk odor. So he had something to say about it in class, in front of everybody. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So we got this book we write in every day in class to tell the teacher how we feel or what's going on and stuff, like, or to just to keep a diary of what he teaches and how we feel we learn. So I wrote to the teacher in the diary and said, I don't appreciate you saying that kind of stuff about me, and you could have pulled me to the side. This is me in the fourth grade telling him, writing him, you know what I'm saying, like, and such, and I told him about, you know, the deodorant's not working. I'm using Right Guard, I'm using Old Spice, the slimy stuff that doesn't really prevent you from sweating. And the more you sweat, the more you smell. So I'm like, I'm using this stuff and it's just not working. You feel me? So he addresses the class again, and he says, in the beginning of the class the next day, he says, listen, I gave you these diaries to write down what you're learning and how you're learning. I didn't give you these diaries so you could write me personal messages and let me know how you feel about what I'm saying in class. And I'm like, what the fuck? The fuck is wrong? This motherfucker don't give a fuck about nothing. So, hey, so I mean, I'm saying, I'm learning about prejudice. Now I'm learning about prejudice. So before in the other schools, it was like they paid me no mind because it wasn't like we were in a mass group. Right now, I was automatically being alienated because I was the only black person in class. But now it's a mixture of people. So now I'm being ridiculed by this white man, this grown ass white man. You know what I'm saying? And he got kids and everything. His daughter is in the fucking same grade as me in the same school. You feel me? So I'm like, this motherfucker's really talking shit. Anyway, he's failing me in everything. I'm failing everything. God damn it. I know, like, I'm doing work and I'm passing tests and I'm doing this but I'm just fucking failing everything. So then he's like, maybe you need to go back to the third grade. So they're having a discussion, had a board meeting and stuff, trying to put him back in the third grade. So now they come to my mom with a choice. Like, he could elect to go back to the third grade, or he could stay here. So basically they gave me a sorry ass teacher, a mean motherfucker, to make me feel like I wasn't strong enough, or I wasn't smart enough to be in that class. And then they moved me back to the then they try to get me to basically volunteer to go back to the third grade. Like, I can't compete with these motherfuckers. So I'm like, hell no. I'm going back to the third grade. What the fuck I look like? I'm in the fourth grade right now. I've been in the fourth grade for fucking 3 months, and you want me to go back to the third grade? No. So basically, I talked to my mother and talked to the people at the school, and they moved me to a different class. And now the teacher wasn't ridiculing me. Now the students are teasing me about this, teasing me about that. So I'm just like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck's wrong with these motherfuckers? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know. And the more I'm like trying to be accepting to what they're saying and trying to like fix the problems that they're saying I'm having, or fix the things that they're trying to tease me about, they just keep going on about it. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck, man? You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, by the time I got to the 5th grade, this kid stopped teasing me, and I became one of the toughest kids in the school because I basically didn't have no choice. It's either do that or fucking just keep letting them talk shit. You know what I'm saying? So, alright, the school was passed. And, so, while I do know that I'm grown, so now I do know I relate to my white heritage. I mean, I have feelings about it, and I have like a passion for my white heritage, my white side. Like, you know, when I watch white people and I see white people doing stuff, you know, I do feel like I have proud feelings about it, and I have, you know, I do feel compassionate at times where I see white people being ridiculed just because they're white. Or, you know what I'm saying, like, for instance, the NBA is no longer, like, it's really no longer integrated. Like, it's really like the Negro League now. I'm sorry to use that phrase, you know what I'm saying, but it's just like a lot of black people and not a lot of white people. And I'm just wondering, like, there's no way that white people are not talented enough to be in the NBA, so what's the problem? So I don't know if it's reverse racism. I don't know what it is, but it is what it is. And black people will say, you like Uncle Tom. You feel something for white people, so you ain't really black. Like, what's wrong with you? Why you acting like that? Like, I'm saying, no, I'm proud to be black. There's a lot of big moments that prove that I'm proud to be black. There's a lot of topics that I discuss that is designed and geared toward creating awareness and positive influence and movement within the black community. So, my black heritage is not second to none. I'm saying, and my white heritage is really not second to none either. Like, I'm American at the end of the day. I mean, like, but when you get down to it, when you get down to the basis, you're black. So it is what it is. Like, is there any other issues that I've been having? Like, in my lyrics, I say crackers, but in my lyrics, I say nigga too. Now, if you really want to talk about it, in my lyrics, I talk bad about black people and I talk bad about white people. I talk good about black people and I talk good about white people. And it's really a black and white issue for me. Like, I don't really talk about Oriental history too much because I'm not familiar with it. I don't talk about Middle Eastern too much because I'm not really familiar with it. I do feel like, they do create pressure to instill forms of their superiority. But I really don't pay attention to, like, oppressive behaviors toward what was considered to be foreign affairs. And they're not foreign, they're American too. But I don't relate to that because I'm not within those scales. Like, I deal with black issues and I deal with white issues and I deal with the interlockings of being both black and white. So when I talk about white people, when I say crackers, I really mean crackers. Like, mean motherfucker, disrespectful people to black people. That's a cracker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know a name for a racist black person. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, I do have, like, I feel predatorical statements about black people. Like, I feel like when I say certain things or I feel some type of way, like, it's like a reverse race. Like, I'm black, so it's still like me hating on myself. So I don't know. It's really a conflict internally for me about being white and being black, and the issue is really not. The issue for me is not an issue. I'm American, and I relate to white people and I relate to black people. And I have ill feelings toward white people, and I have ill feelings toward black people. And I don't feel like me feeling the way I feel puts me in a category where you could say that I'm an Uncle Tom, or you could say that I'm prejudiced to white people. I'm prejudiced to people who do things that are full of stupidity in regards to race and oppression. You know what I'm saying? Because I have been oppressed. I've been put in many positions where I had to stand up to oppression, and I had to come out of my character and be a person of unrational thinking and going towards irrational measures in order to prevent myself from being oppressed by people who feel the need to be oppressive toward me. And that's black people, and that's white people. I don't have too many dealings with foreign people. But foreign people seem to have a natural disliking toward black people. Some of them toward white people too. But, like, people have basically feelings toward each other automatically. And I'm a very aware person, and basically I can react off feelings. And if I run into a person and I feel like this person is trying to be oppressive because he feels like it, or because I'm black, and just because you're Mexican or you're Puerto Rican or you're Chinese or Japanese or Korean or Middle Eastern or from like you got a Russian heritage or lineage or whatever. And if I feel like you're being prejudiced, then I feel some type of way about you. So to me, it really doesn't matter what you are. It matters. What matters to me is your character. And if you feel as though me saying cracker is toward the whole white race, then that's your personal preference and that's your problem. It's not mine. Like, if I want to call somebody a cracker, then that's what they is. And to be on from another viewpoint, the term cracker can be used in many different ways. There are many different ways to be a cracker, and in the scope of things like worldly or worldly, then a cracker is a person who is designated to making your life very difficult and trying to cause your mental prowess to be diminished by the things that they do. That is a cracker.